Welcome back, folks. On this episode, we cover the shenanigans and adventures that I get up to whilst barely birding. To start it off with, it's 7 a.m. It's a beautiful brisk morning at Westerfolds Park. There was so much peace and tranquility and just so nice in the environment until those bloody cockatoos started up. Bloody dogs. As I looked over the river, I was asking the birding gods for a guide, just some small little pointer. And they gave me a small pointer, this carpenter ant. He told me that if I just looked through the river, through the fog, through the mist, through any sort of word to describe some sort of hue of the river, that I'll find my answer. And that was my answer, a little pied cormorant. He was just chilling there, and then I remembered, you guys came here for birds, right? So let's actually do some barely birding. If you guys know anything about Australia, it's that there are two plagues on this country. One of them is the cockatoo, like, look at this demon. The other is the kangaroo. Yeah, he's not cute and cuddly. They're dogs, alright? Dogs. This guy and his mate, yeah, they were stopping me from getting through this walkway for 15 minutes. I swear, I have moved faster in a Centrelink line. Anyways, I bribed them with the Tic Tac, and they fled. Then I came across this little family of white-winged chuffs. There was a mum, no dad of course, he left to go get milk 10 years ago, and all the babies were just screaming and crying like, come on, just give them an iPad or an Xbox for God's sake, they'll shut up. I then found this funny looking security camera in the shape of a bronze wing. I got a little bit closer just to inspect it, and then bloody BAM! Back of the head, getting knocked out, dragged away, and all I wanted to know was who was taking me, where the hell am I going, I need a bloody wee, where's my mum, where's my food, mate, I left a bag of shapes on the ground, I want that back, alright? Now, I'm not sure who or what knocked me out and took me all the way out to Gurumbat, but really, it was a blessing in disguise because I stayed there and decided to camp for a couple days at this lovely farm near Broken Creek called the Hidden Beauty. There were plenty of peafowls, guinea fowls, geese, heaps and heaps of farm animals, including this guy. Back to the other animals, just like this one, yeah, her name's Pee. She's a sheep, and she's called that because she pees all over the place. She's quite a lovely little girl. She must have been my tour guide for the day because she took me to the brown tree creeper that was just eating some grubs. Then she showed me over to this willy wagtail that was just sitting there singing to all the other birds. It was such an amazing opportunity to get so many awesome Australian birds and species purely because of this creek. A massive shout out to Carol and Peter for their awesome farm stay at this creek, because without it I wouldn't have been able to see this azure kingfisher almost every single morning I camped there. And fun fact, by the way, when a kingfisher bobs its head like this, it just means that it's overly excited and it's just spotted the smallest little thing in the water to go for. I really wanted to cross the bridge, but then I came across the ultimate boss who was guarding it. His name was Buffhead the Great. He had one horn, but that one horn was enough for me to say, hell nah, I ain't going across there. He was guarding it with his life. I think he was so upset with us because we were having sausages that morning, and it might have been his brother. So I didn't choose death that day, so I stayed on my side of the river. On that side, I saw this scarlet robin. He was just showing off his awesome breeding colours. As we thanked our amazing tour guide PP one last time, she told us one more hint, that sunset is the best time for birds. As the sun would set on all the paddocks in the farm, it became a whole new world. All the birds came out to play, communicate, eat, and get ready for night, like this white-plumed honeyeater family. During the last hour of the day, I saw this red-rumped parrot, if my bloody camera would focus on it. There we go. They were playing up in the treetops, having fun until they were ready for nighttime, and you know what? So was I. But nighttime doesn't just mean sleep here. It means that we're going to cause chaos to the society. For some reason, the nightlife didn't want anything to do with me. There was this rain moth. His name was David. He just ditched me, man. Just like this bush-tailed possum. I was trying to tell him about the Lord and Saviour. He just didn't want to hear it.
Please talk about the Lord and Saviour.
It was safe to say I made no friends until the morning came, and look who it is, everyone. It's David the rain moth. I knew he would eventually come around to me if I just forced him to be my friend. So we started talking about life and what he got up to over the night, and he met this really weird character. His name was Roger the bush cricket. He was an all-knowing cricket, and he told me that there was actually a platypus. So I went looking.
There he is. He's there. He's gone. There he is. Little platypus. Platypus. Hey, Mr. Platypus. How you going? You're so little. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Just swimming. Here I am, just sitting on the bank. Platypus.
This was easily one of the most impressive and amazing sights that I've seen barely birding. And that's saying a lot because this is only the second video. I was so lucky to come across such an iconic Australian animal that is usually so shy. Yet, I sat for about an hour watching this little guy. And it turned out she was actually pregnant. As I watched her dive into the murky creek one last time, I decided to leave the farm for the day and go on a little detour. And that place was... the cactus country, man! Like, who doesn't want to see cactus? This was the Southern Hemisphere's largest collection of cacti, and, you know, who's not a fan of cacti? As soon as I entered this place, I had this weird feeling that I liked donkeys more than I usually would. I'm not sure why. It could be something to do with the decor, but I can't put my finger on it. As I walked around this totally culturally appropriate cactus nursery, I realised that there were just so many different types of cactus species here, and I couldn't educate you guys on all of them. Or probably not even one. Actually, I could name a few, like this one. This one's called Big Tall Fella Boy. Yep. Big Tall Fella Boy, I've officially named it that. And this one looked like a Sandra to me, so I'm going to call it Sandra. I was looking around for birds, but I couldn't find any, but instead, I found more life. If you looked closely, there was actually a whole lot of life going on, just like this dotted pyropsene leaf beetle. He was just chilling on the cactus. And it was also the perfect time of year for the Australian hornets to start making their nests, just like this lovely queen. What was even lovelier was this nice young lady. She looked pretty nice until her folks were watching me, so I sort of turned away. And then I saw this weird sign. It said, "I'm cactus." Like, what is that? What? What is "I'm cactus"? Like, come on. And so I wandered around the rest of the nursery with this new aspect on this small life that just inhabited the whole entire ecosystem here. I came across this weird looking Tatooine bloody building and started to just look at how many cacti they've planted. Like, come on, that's a lot of cacti, and it's all in a line, and what's the point, man? Like, so many. Like, how many has that been? Like 30, 40? I don't know. I decided to harass some of the cacti as I was starting to head out. You know, you gotta have a feel for these things. You know, like, you gotta have a real good feel. I mean, not that kind of feel. Segue. The final stop on my trip was the Winton Wetlands. I had no idea what I was getting into when I came to these wetlands. I actually had to walk inland a lot because the water was so low. The first thing I came across was this great egret, or common egret. It was fishing in this weird red stuff. This red stuff was called red water milfoil, and when the water's high enough, it can actually grow up to 4 meters tall, but obviously not right now. There were so many different types of species of ducks and grebes, just like this bunch you see here. And then I saw heaps of white-faced herons. They were so common, just like the willy wagtails. Once again, they were always so cheerful to watch, and they just had so much character to them. Just like this epic power stance. After being absolutely mesmerised by the bird that never skipped leg day, I realised just how hot it was getting. The sun was absolutely glaring down on me, but then I remembered, what comes out when the sun does? The great Australian raptors. That's right, the bird of prey. The devils of the sky, whatever you want to call them, they're awesome. To start them off with, I came across this awesome white-bellied sea eagle, just soaring across me. And then shortly after, I saw this Nanking kestrel just doing circle work above my head. He was doing some mad drifts up in the sky, like crazy, man. He decided to stop doing donuts and just sat down for a little minute. Maybe I should have actually given him a donut to eat, I don't know. There's 2 eagles out there. Oh, there he goes. I really want to get closer, but from this point onward, it just turns to bloody slush. What am I supposed to do? Come on, eagles. And then this whistling kite landed right in front of me, and I thought, let's go get him. But then I remembered, oh yeah, nah. So I watched this Australian pelican land right next to the whistling kite instead. I started observing the 2 groups of birds because I actually thought to myself, who's in more danger here? Because I've seen these pelicans in Finding Nemo, man. They're scary, but you know what was actually more scary? The fact that I was just walking around doing my thing, and all of a sudden, a bloody fox came out. Oh shit, it's a fox. Okay. That scared me. I was absolutely petrified, but nothing made me more scared than what you're about to see next. After looking at these welcome swallows, I thought, hey, what could go wrong? Until there was an epic battle between good and bad, man. Like, there was an egret and heron standoff, man. Like, that. There was lightning being struck, there was bloody rain, and then all of a sudden, they summoned a bushfire, man. There was smoke everywhere, and then all of a sudden, it was like a bloody earthquake, man. And it was crazy. And then I didn't know what to do, and my bloody camera started raining up. After narrowly escaping death, I decided to adopt a new tactic to finding birds.
We're about to enter worm territory. We can't walk like regular humans. If we do, we're dead. We'll have to walk like the Fremen do. It's called a sandwalk.
After months of studying the sandwalk, it finally allowed me to get close enough to the the whistling kite. Now you guys probably remember him from last video, and I want you guys to know that he's actually doing quite well and he's been 3 months sober. Anyways, this must have been their hunting ground because I saw about 8 to maybe 10 of these whistling kites that day. And I even managed to catch him to a cheeky little barrel roll. I probably watched him for a good solid hour until I realised it's actually getting quite bloody hot and I need to start heading home. So I started making my trek through what seemed like the bloody Sahara Desert.
Pretty successful trip. Probably a 7 out of 10 for birding finds today. Next time I would bring gumboots or a kayak because can't really get too far without them. With every step I take out here, I can just feel the skin cancer growing. I kid you not, I've probably seen more raptors here than dragonflies. So if you ever want to come looking for some Australian bird of prey, come here. What was that? Oh no. That sounded like the Argentavis, the extinct bird from thousands of years ago. What's it doing? Oh no. Oh no.